Hello and welcome everyone to another Slytherin weekly Twitch stream. Today we're playing Warhammer Armageddon, the Ork Hunters DLC, which has just been released today. And with me is Ian McNeil, and he's going to take us through a scenario or two, I
Yes,
think.
we are. Hi guys. So, yes, it's Warhammer Armageddon. It's the latest DLC, and this one is all about the Ork Hunters. These guys were tracking down the Ork invasion. Well, what's left of the Ork invasion. The Second War's over. The Orks have been kicked out, but there's lots of hangers on. Let's be Ork killer. So we go through the briefing a little bit. I'm just going to jump straight into the mission. So our job is to hold this base. We're clearing out territory. The Astartes have retired. The Space Marines are gone. All that's left now are the native population, the native soldiers. So our task is to get rid of the remaining orcs, feral orcs from the jungles and outlying areas. And here we're setting up a base inside their territory, and they're not very happy about it, so they are throwing quite a lot of men at us. So right at the start of the mission I'm under attack. I haven't had the chance to do anything yet, so we knew this was going to happen, so we jumped straight into the game. But this is the first time we've actually played this mission, so we're not entirely sure what to expect. And we know that there are some new units at our disposal, and I think there's some new units on the Ork side as well. So we are getting lots of relatively weak Ork units throw themselves at us. Our Ork Hunter infantry are actually pretty useful. They seem to be holding off all these attacks coming in, doing significant damage. So once we get to our turn, we'll jump into the purchase screen, see which units are actually available for us, run through the new units. This, I don't remember seeing that unit before either. Some Ork riders of some sort. When I get to our turn, we'll try and investigate these guys, find out what they are.
If they don't die out, all of them.
Yeah, we don't kill them all. So it looks like some new Ork units as well, which you haven't seen before. Or maybe I just missed them in the main campaign. But mostly Imperial infantry. That's most of the new units that we'll get. And as soon as this initial onslaught finishes, we'll get a chance to do something. But we are just mowing down Orks in their thousands right now. I've got Sergeant Harkonnen. Oh yeah, I didn't even read that. Perimeter alarms. Yes, we're under attack. We know that. So we have to defend the base, and then we have to get out there and capture the Ork victory points, which are all to the northeast. So hold off the attack, and then we'll have to push out towards the northeast. Right, so let's go and see what the new units are. So infantry, Ork Hunter infantry. Now, these guys, I'm told these guys are very much improved over normal Imperial infantry in hand-to-hand. They don't have such good firepower. They're armed with a shooter and a scalper, but their melee stats are much better. These guys can go head-to-head with Orks in melee. We've got a company command, bolter and scalper, flamers with scalper, snipers with scalper, got fire support again with scalper. These guys are all going to be pretty tough. So we've got some really useful infantry here. One of the complaints people had was that the Steel Legion were just not able to go toe to toe with Orks, and now with the Ork Hunters you really have something that can take on the Orks with an even fight. And these are just nothing new here. These are normal support units and tanks. Our basilisks and wyverns. So we've got a fair bit of armour at our disposal, but the most interesting stuff is the infantry. A few gun turrets, but they're particularly useless. There's just not enough of them. Units aren't strong enough to do anything significant to the Orks. They're just going to slow them down. So we've lost some turrets up here and some victory points, but they're not ones that matter. So Our plan looks like the Orks are attacking in force from the southeast. Ah, there's this new Ork unit here. Feral boar boys. Ah, okay, these are the feral Orks.
Oh yeah, so they are riding boars.
Yeah. So spear and chopper. So nothing, no ranged weapon really, but it looks like they could be quite mean in melee. Is there anything else that looks new? Feral wild boys. Okay. Spear and axe. God, yeah, these guys all hand to hand. So even though our guys are not brilliant in at shooting, they're still light years ahead of bows and axes. Okay. Yeah, these guys really are feral. Right, let's see what we can do to them. Just use our turrets to whittle a few away. Let's see how our infantry are going to take on. So at range, obviously they've got no shooting, so they can't do anything to us. 23, that's not bad. What about if we go into hand to hand? We do more damage, but we take too much. We're better off sitting back in our trenches and just shooting them as they come to us. And our heavy bolter will just wear them down. Just start nibbling away at these units. So we've weakened them all. They're all now in the yellow. So if you're not familiar with Armageddon, the little number under here is strength points. That's how many men in the unit. The colour shows their effectiveness. Starts at white at full effectiveness, goes down through yellow to orange, and I don't know if we've got anyone in red. Not at the moment. These guys are kind of orangey. If we shoot them up a bit more, there we go. They're in red. That shows that they're really they're not much use anymore. They're not going to do much damage to anybody. So Armageddon is a turn-based, hex-based strategy game in the 40k universe. It's a very simple interface. Everything is point and click. Left mouse click to do pretty much any order. Advanced orders can be dealt with through the side panels, such as reinforcements and replacements, and you can right click on units to get more information about them. We're just at the start of the campaign, so we don't have a battle history, but one of the really key concepts of the game is that you take your core force with you through. So the guys that survive this mission are going to come with me to the next battle. They'll gain experience, they'll gain skill, their stats will all improve, and you get really attached to these guys, and they get a real battle history. So it builds up how many kills they've got, any special awards for capturing victory locations, or which battles they're involved in, and you get quite an interesting history building up for these guys. I can see we've got some tanks over here, nothing too scary, and we've got some tanks this side, but I think I'm sending my laser destroyer this direction. Laser destroyer is pretty effective against enemy tanks, not so good against infantry, but he does have a very long range. So that's everyone in the southeast moved. We've got some Orks coming through here. I think we'll bring up some infantry to face them off. Our Basilisk will go and bash them as well. Basilisk's long-ranged artillery, very good at reducing the effectiveness of the enemy infantry as well. So we haven't done huge casualties to them, but we've really started to wear them down. One of the things you might have noticed there is that there were 3 damage attacks on there. This unit here is equipped with battle cannons, las cannons, and heavy bolters, and each of them have their own stats, and they fire independently, and they've all got their own strengths and weaknesses. So they have things like armor penetration, range, accuracy, rate of fire, and these things mean that every weapon has its own role, what it's good at. Our snipers here, very long range, but very poor at close up. They have a minimum range of 2, so anyone that gets adjacent to them, they can't actually engage. So these guys really need to be protected, but for long range, they're very useful. Right, we have a tank over here. Let's bring our anti-tank support unit down here, have a bash at them. Oh, we really did hammer them, not many of them left. And we will just finish off the Orks and finish off the gun wagon, and that's
Nice.
the western flank looking fairly robust at the moment. We've got no troops down in the south, but there don't seem to be any orcs down there right now. We could spend some of our money, but I'm not sure if we want to yet. I think we'll give it another turn and see what's going on. So let's move over to let the orcs continue their onslaught. So our guys seem pretty well dug in. Ooh, I've been a bit careless here. Oh, I've lost my basilisk. Oh dear. That was not a good thing to do. I'm going to have to replace him. Not so big a deal for defending, but when we start moving forwards, the basilisk is going to be really useful for digging anyone out of their fortifications. So we've got some flamers here, just annihilated them. Oh, although we took a lot of damage as well.
So
we are killing a lot of orcs, but we're starting to take a few casualties now. Some boars charging in from the south.
Southern flank is pretty much unprotected at this point.
It is.
So
it's very open. I think we may well be spending some points next turn.
At the very least to get some line of sight there, I would think.
Yes, we do need someone down there to see what's coming. I think I've sent too much this way.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah. So one of the abilities, this unit here has a special support ability. Don't think I can stop the turn, the AI is moving at the moment. But the support ability means when any adjacent friendly units are attacked, they will give supporting fire. And this is a very effective position. I've got my infantry in trenches with support weapons behind, so anyone that comes into them is going to have a hard time.
Plus these infantry are very good at
these are close, good infantry, yeah. So the attack from the east seems to have been completely stopped, but we've lost our basilisk. How much is that going to cost to replace? 800, that's half of all the money I've got. That was a very expensive mistake. I think I might... What's our other option? We could get a wyvern. He's much shorter range. So the basilisk has 6 range, the wyvern has 3 range. It's not really much of a comparison. I think we'll just weather the initial onslaught and then decide what we need to attack with. Let's see what we can do with these turrets. Wear them down a little bit.
Oh, nice.
Sniper nearly finishes them off, and our flamer should just about... Let's do him there. Our flamer, I think, is going to have to repair. Okay, so to the south we have more feral boar riders. What were they called? Feral boar boys. Boar boys, yeah. Let's finish them off. I think we might just repair these guys and leave someone in the trenches in case someone comes from the west.
Oh, they're not very useful.
No, these guys, these are the anti-tank guys. They're not not brilliant against infantry, but does a little bit of damage. Right, that's most of us moved. Oh no, we've got our eastern flank. I think I might be pulling some troops out. I need to find out what's going on down here. We've got no visibility into this area. Oops, and we've walked straight into more boar boys. So we'll... I'll bring some more tanks back to support here. Okay, weaken them a bit. And our infantry should be more than a match for these annoying orcs in this direction. Right. Only one unit visible over here. I imagine there'll be more orcs coming from this direction because that's where their base is, so we'll start moving our units up this way. Right. I think I might need to recruit something. How much are Ork Hunters? I think we'll have an Ork Hunter and a fire support. Because we're just being spread a bit too thin.
Suggestion is made here to get some scout units out and see what you're up against.
That's not a bad idea. Let's do that. Should we get a Taurus or a Venerator? Heavy flamer or 2 las cannons? I think we're mostly up against infantry, so I think the flame is probably a better option here, and he's cheaper. So I think we'll scout to the southeast first. Right, so that's a big chunk of our money spent, and all of our unit slots gone, so we're not actually allowed to recruit anymore until somebody dies, which might not be that long, but let's see. Okay, so we're done for this turn. Moving on to turn 3. Our flamers are under attack. Took a bit of damage, but took out another Ork feral unit. Anti-tank infantry took a bit of a bashing as well.
So one of the tricky parts here, I imagine, is knowing when to actually start your counterattack, since there is a turn limit here.
Yes, we're going to have to make sure we don't leave it too late. I'd have thought it's going to take at least 6 turns to head off there, if not more, 6 to 8. So I'd have thought by turn 8 we have to be moving out. Yeah, if we leave it too late, then we may survive but not succeed with our objective. So we'll just pull back a little bit. And our Tauros, I think we'll just flame them before we go anywhere.
They are effective.
It's not too bad. Right. He's got a fairly good sighting range into here. There's nothing immediately coming. Still no sign of anyone down to the southeast, so I might send one guy out here to do a little recon. No sign of orcs.
Very limited.
We're going to start heading around this way to prepare for our... Ooh.
All right.
Things are getting tougher. What do we got here?
What do we have there?
So, feral hunters, bow and axe. So they've got ranged weapon, not a particularly good one, but it still means they can shoot back. And we have death dreads with kill saws. So that is entirely a melee unit. It's got no ranged weapons at all. So what we'll do is we'll start whittling down the archer guys. Let's bring up our heavy weapons support.
Oh, nice.
It attacked back but didn't really do anything. I think our tanks will start to redeploy this way as well. That's pretty much dealt with the feral boys in here. Our new recruits can start to move up. Might as well finish them off before they go. Our flamers, we can repair them, but we actually need to rest them as well. So they need to do a refit. That doesn't increase their strength, but their number went from red to orange, so their morale is significantly improved. So they're up to 59 morale. They were on 29 before, so that's a big jump. I think we'll move our tanks forwards first, see what we can see. Nothing too scary. Our snipers don't want to get too ambitious though. If they get caught, they'll go the way of the basilisk. We've still got a few feral orcs down here. That's them gone. Finish them off. Just take back the victory location.
Right.
And we'll do a little exploring up this way to see if there's anything more coming. Doesn't seem to be. I'm going to start redeploying these guys across as well. I think that's everybody done. Let's see what the orcs have got for us. Here comes the Death Dread.
Oh.
He's... Oh, Alright, so our advisor, Sergeant Harkonnen, is saying that the assault's over and it's time for us to go and clear the enemy. Well, that's only turn 5, or is it turn 4? Turn 4, so we have plenty of time here. It's the first mission in the campaign, so if it wasn't easy, I'd have been surprised. We'll start flooding eastwards now. Just repair our flamers. I'll bring our Taurus up. We decided to send him the wrong direction. I'm going to leave one infantry unit back because I just don't want some sneaky orcs capturing the victory locations. Death Dread. Start whittling him down. Our anti-tank turret. Oh no, it's not, it's a tarantula fire support. He's anti-infantry, so we'll target the orc infantry with him. Here's our anti-tank unit. His range is 3, so he should be in range from here.
Yep.
So that's the Death Dread kind of
He's very weak.
incapacitated. And can we finish him off? Not quite. That's a shame. Can we finish him off? That's good. Right. The reason I wanted to finish this guy off is when you're adjacent to an enemy unit, when you repair, it's very limited effect. Now I've destroyed that enemy unit, I can repair to full strength in one turn. So we'll repair. I'm still at low effectiveness, but I'm now at full strength. And we shall bring some snipers across. Oh, we can't get into range. Let's try there. Let's get into range. Start whittling them down. Bring the heavy weapons guys up. And the Ork Hunter infantry. We will get into range now. We can do a bit of damage here. We're firing through a jungle hex, and the jungle blocks. It's 35% cover and 20% line of sight blocking, so it reduces our effectiveness for firing through it, but it still allows us to do a fair bit of damage to those guys. But that's one of the things to take into account when firing through jungle or other obstacles. It can dramatically reduce your firepower. Nothing much to see up there. So who's left? Our anti-tank infantry. We'll leave them as the defensive unit over this side. Our heavy weapons guys don't need to move, and that's everybody done. Right. Oh, what we got? Some kind of artillery hit us there.
Yeah.
I think it was a rocket launcher of some kind.
Didn't do too much damage though.
No, was it a bomb lobber or something like that? They're not too effective. I think we want our Taurus up round the north, so still can't quite see anything. Let's chuck our infantry forwards. Still nothing. Our tanks forwards. Still nothing. Where's he hiding? Bring our heavy weapons guys up. Don't really want them in the front line. Right, let's see then. Our Ork Hunters will come this way. Oh, there
they are.
Right. What do we have? We have more feral hunters, wild boys, so the archers, the spearmen, and the gun truck with big lobber. So yeah, it's a bomb thrower. But he can't hurt anything adjacent to him, so he shouldn't be able to hurt me. So that should just about kill him.
That was the end of him.
Perfect.
You got your revenge for when they attacked your own.
For our scratch.
Yeah.
Okay, snipers. I think we'll save the sniper. These guys are a little bit tough to dig out of their fortifications. This is where our basilisk would have been useful. Perfect for softening these targets up. But we'll just hit them with overwhelming firepower. Now our Ork Hunter Company Command. I didn't realise he's actually a company command. He raises the morale of all adjacent units, but his morale is actually pretty low at the moment, so I'm going to rest him, get his morale back up. but I'm going to make sure everyone stays adjacent to him so that next turn the morale of all these units will be boosted. So if I'm going to make good use of the company commander, I have to spend less time resting my units. So the snipers now, we'll bring our heavy weapons up to here and the snipers behind them. Oh, the snipers can't see anything. Let's try here, there we go. That's shrunk them down a bit. Okay, we've still got our laser destroyer coming through here. Bring him up. Okay, we'll just defend this area here. I think we'll bring them slightly more centrally. And then the rest of these guys are pushing forwards. We'll just take that victory location back. And we're hoping there's no orcs left up to the northwest. I think that's everyone moved, so we're over to the orcs again. So they're kind of digging in now, they're not attacking us anymore. Now it's time for us to fish them out of their defensive. Oh wow. We've got some more.
Big numbers as well.
They're large units. If they get into hand-to-hand, they are going to start causing some trouble, so we do want to whittle them down at range. Spreading the attacks out a bit. I'm not trying to kill anyone, just to weaken them, so if they do come at us, then hopefully we'll be able to take them out without too many casualties. What to do here? We've got some heavy weapons. I think we're just going to have to... Who are we going to focus on? This one we can really hammer but take some damage. That's a better option, or we do 10 damage for free here. I think we'll take the 10 damage for free, save our men, and whittle them from this direction. Snipers taking them down. Tanks just finding a way through. The tanks can't move through the buildings, so they have to wind their way through find a route through. Our infantry can run straight through though. Gets them up to there. Our heavy weapons guys. Oh, just found lots more orcs. Right, we're advancing, oops, a little bit recklessly, but I think we've got overwhelming firepower. It is the first mission. I'm sure I can afford to be a little bit reckless.
Certainly looks like it. One of the interesting things here is that, of course, with the other DLCs we played, we had all the different Space Marine chapters and all their elite units, whereas here you're no longer with the elite, but with the bunch that's left over and just grabs any weapon they can find, including Ork ones.
It is, and some people, I've already seen some comments on the forums saying people are really looking forward to this. They want to play the Imperial Guard. They're tired of being the superhuman Space Marines. They want to play with the normal guys. And now with the Ork Hunters, you've now got some decent infantry. You can actually take the Orks on. So yeah, I think this will be. Oh
wow! So much
there you go.
Scout.
That was painful. So our Taurus has gone, and we've got more bomb lobbers appearing, hitting our heavy weapons guys. Hopefully, that's it. So he's not throwing them into hand to hand. I brought up another heavy weapon to support my heavy weapon. So if he had come in, they'd have been hit by support, and then it would have been pretty lethal for them if they had attacked. So it probably wouldn't have been a good idea.
Those support units are doing a very great job for you.
They are. I'm not sure what their battle history is saying, but oh, he's killed one. So the casualties are mounting up. By the end of a campaign, they'll have a nice casualty count. Our snipers can now see something over here, but their line of sight isn't brilliant. So if I bring them forwards a bit, see the damage predictions have gone up significantly. So a better angle of fire without shooting through the jungle. We'll bring some tanks across. Oops, we've just walked into some feral hunters.
There's a question here, Ian, from the audience. Is how actually do you balance a game with this many different units in there?
It's a challenge, but we tend to balance it in groups. So we'll balance the extremes. So you pick your weakest tank and your heaviest tank, and you'll pick a kind of a medium level, and you'll balance those units to make sure the interactions feel fine. And then in between, you'll take a kind of an abstraction of, if this is what your medium level is and this is what your maximum is, you'll start off with values just kind of stepping between them, and then play test from there onwards to get more fine tuning. So the most important part of it is that you start with the extremes and then come in from there. Because if you start trying to balance each unit individually, sometimes you find that either your weakest unit, it's either too powerful or underpowered and doesn't fit with the system, or your strongest unit has the same issue.
Right. The other thing to take into account, of course, is also the role they actually had in the lore. Like
Yes, of course. Units. Yes. So it's some units are specialized. The weapons are specialized against infantry or tanks, and a lot of the interactions come directly from the lore and from basing on what would have in a tabletop game. What would have happened if you fired a tank at a squad of infantry? What would be the effect?
Right.
And trying to get effects that it doesn't duplicate the tabletop system, but someone who's familiar with it will understand what kind of results. So the same as if you were doing a World War II game, we try and make the interactions believable. So if a Sherman fires at a Tiger frontally, it should bounce, whereas if it fires from the flank at short range, it's got a chance to kill. So people are looking for the right kinds of interactions. So a good knowledge of the lore is important. You need someone who really understands what should be happening. So the team actually recruited a few guys who were experts in the lore into the team, but also they actually became experts themselves because the amount of time they spent dealing with the subject matter now. Why can't I shoot you? I've already shot. That would be why. No?
No, you haven't.
Oh yeah, why can't I shoot? That jungle was blocking my line of sight for some reason. Oh, no it wasn't. They were flamethrowers. That's why they couldn't shoot. Thought that was odd. Should pay more attention. Right, heavy weapons. I don't like these archers. They just killed my Taurus. So maybe... archers are not good against tanks.
Well, that makes sense.
It was surprisingly effective against my Taurus though. Hopefully they're not very good in hand-to-hand as well. No. There we go. That's what we do to archers. And we've got more feral hunters there. We'll take the wild boys, the wild boys on with the shooters, and our Ork Hunters will come and take on the archers in hand-to-hand. A little bit of damage, but really annihilated them. There we go. So we've cleared out our first victory location. Just a bit of advancing. Over here we fired everybody. But we're not going to take that till next turn. What reinforcements we've got coming up? I think that's everyone allocated to the fight. It's only our reserve, which I think is probably being overcautious, but we'll leave them back there just in case. So I think we're ahead of schedule at the moment.
Yeah.
The Orks seem to be coming forwards again.
One of the things is, of course, we're playing the first mission here, so it's not the most challenging mission in the series. But one of the things is, losing your artillery early on can actually hurt you in the upcoming missions.
It can, and in fact, I probably should buy that artillery. That's a very good point, because of the carryover and because of the way the experience system works, I really want my artillery gaining experience from the start. So I've actually just purchased them and spent pretty much all my money.
Yeah.
So I'm broke now. So I'm going to have to capture some victory locations to actually get enough money now to repair my units. But we'll worry about that later.
Is there a maximum size to your core force?
There is, and that's the campaign progression controls that. So as you go, generally your core force will grow with you, and also the amount of what do we call it? I've forgotten the name of it. The requisition points. The requisition points. That's scaled as you go through the campaign as well. So as you go, you'll get more requisition points, and your force will get bigger, or you'll be able to improve it. So we're taking out this artillery piece again in hand-to-hand because it's got no hand-to-hand value. And we'll just finish them off with another one, flamer. And these guys are in the red, so we're going to rest these guys to get them a bit more useful. I don't like these archers. They keep causing trouble. So they can't really do much to my tanks, but they're definitely being annoying to my infantry. I need somebody who can assault them, but my assault infantry have all got sucked up to the north. I haven't spread them out properly. I've got my ranged units all. Oh, although my anti-tank guys have actually got. Wow. I forgot they have scalpers as well, so they can get into hand-to-hand.
All right.
And they took a little bit of damage, but they've really hammered those. These anti-tank infantry are nice. And we'll just weaken these guys over here. So more heavy weapons, finish them off. So we finished off a couple of the Ork units, but I've pushed too many of my melee units to the north, so I need to bring at least one of these Ork Hunters down here to help to dig through here. We've still got our tanks to move, bring them forwards. Can't get in range of anyone. That's everyone who can do anything useful moved. We're not going to go any closer to them, nothing to gain, we'll shoot them next turn.
We've still got plenty of turns.
There we go, right, it's us again. Where are my Ork Hunters? Right, you boys come down here. And that's what we want. That's how you take out archers. And we've got more archers here, so let's... Is that more archers there? Ah, oh, that is. We will take these guys out. Our anti-tank infantry. Spotted more orcs. Ah, that's my moving my snipers.
Oh right, you want to keep them at a distance.
Yeah, if we get them too close they can't shoot, so we'll see if we can bring... Oh no, that was a bad idea. That's about as close as we're willing to get. Now our two heavy weapons. So bring one down here to deal with this guy. Ooh. Oh, it's these flipping bowmen. Ah, the bowmen have a range of 2 only. They can't shoot when I'm adjacent to them. I should have paid more attention. Right. So if I get adjacent to them, they can't shoot.
That makes them a lot more vulnerable, actually.
Yes, so if I move straightly up adjacent to them, that massively improves my odds. There we go. So we do fight melee, but I've got the scalper melee weapons, so... Yep. We're working out how to deal with bowmen. Wouldn't have thought it'd be that much of a challenge for people with big guns, but... Oops, we've just ambushed ourselves. That was careless. My Ork Hunter infantry are looking very vulnerable. We've got a dread, and these guys I'm going to have to try and bring up as much support as I can. Heavy weapons. Yeah. So we'll give them a fighting chance. So the Dread can come in and have a go, but I've now got support from the heavy weapons behind them.
So what happens if units and the mission damaged and they're part of your core force? Will they?
You can choose to repair them. I think you get them repaired for free in between mission.
Okay.
So I think as long as they don't die, I forget, to be honest, we'll find out at the end. I might have to repair them, but generally it's cheaper to repair things between missions than it is
To replace them.
yeah. Okay, I think that's all we can do. We're pretty much, there's only a few orcs left now, so we're just getting down to the last remnants.
They are assaulting your tank.
We're coming against our Ork Hunters, but I haven't killed them. We've survived. And I forgot to bring my Basilisk forward, didn't I?
Yep.
So we're not earning any experience for our Basilisk. Need to hammer these guys in the fortress because we've got to capture that. I don't know if you can hear it, but today is November the 5th, and outside I can hear fireworks going off all over the place. So it's bonfire night. Just adds to the atmosphere.
It does.
Okay, so we've got the victory location. The last victory location we have to capture is here. We have plenty of time, but we're going to try and do it this turn. So what have we got? Some tanks can get through, they can have a shot. And we have 3 Ork infantry, or actually this Ork Hunter's going to have to repair. So we've got 2 Ork Hunters to assault him with. In fact, we won't repair, we will capture it with them. And I think
That was the last one,
that
wasn't
might...
it?
Oh, there's 1 Ork left down here, but I don't think he matters. We'll see what happens. We win! Hoo-hoo! So, as I said, the campaign is an important part of the game is the core force and the campaign. So we've won the first mission. We now get through to the briefing for the second mission, and we get the chance to modify our core force, upgrade or change. So what is our next mission? Well done. The base is secure. We're going to kill orcs. That sounds good. Right, so our Inquisitor's gone. We've got other concerns. What are they? Ork raiders attacking refugees. I imagine we'll have to try and kill orcs and save refugees. Sorry. Retain control of at least 1 victory hex while recapturing all other victory hexes. So I can never lose all victory hexes. Right, what have we got over here? So I'm deploying along the western edge of the map. There's a lot of ground to cover. And we have some besieged militia. Okay, Hive militia. Hive militia with auto pistols. They are not going to be very effective. I have all sorts of Imperial crap here. There's nothing very... Oh, Ogryns. We have some useful units. So an Ogryn squad here. These guys are tough. Rattling snipers they're pretty useful. So we have a few useful units. The Hydra platform. I've never found the gun turrets to be particularly useful, but we'll see how they get on. And we have a lot of orcs, but we've got some choke points. So a river crossing up here, we're going to have to defend if they've got any other way in. No, they've got to come across that river. They're already across this river, so that's a bit of a problem. I don't know if we can push them back. 1, 2... So 3 river crossings, and there's some orcs already across down the south. And we've got a couple of units across the other side here. Although they're not going to last long.
Poor guys.
We've got looted Lehman Russes coming at us. That's unfair.
Oh, wow.
Right. So, the plan... I thought, is this river impassable? That's one of the key questions. No, I don't think it is. I think it slows them down, but I don't think it's impassable. It says -10. Well, maybe. We'll see. Whatever we do, we've got a lot of distance to cover. Right, so now we can go in. Here we can see the experience of my guys up here. So my anti-tank infantry actually did quite well, up to 3 experience. They did 3 infantry and a tank, so yeah, casualty list starting to mount up for them.
Right.
Who else got some experience? Our heavy weapon squads did pretty well. Our Ork Hunter infantry did pretty well, these guys especially. Yeah, they did very well. And our tanks, not bad, nothing amazing. Our Basilisk didn't fire a shot because we forgot about it. Now, one of the things I'm not sure about, can I upgrade my Ork Hunters? They don't have any transports. No. No transports available to Ork Hunters. So we're going to have to do everything on foot. But I think we will get back our scout unit.
You get a lot of points, actually.
A lot of points, yeah.
There's a question here on the... is it possible to actually skip these the combat or damage animations?
In the options, if I can remember how to get to options, where have we? Combat speed. So you can make that speed, if you put that to maximum, I think that completely skips it, but you can completely control the combat speed here. So,
right.
We tend to run it at quite slow speed when doing Twitch, because when we know what we're doing, someone who's watching it finds it quite hard to keep up if we don't run these things quite slow. And things like scroll speed and movement speed as well, it's all controllable, so you can find something that that works for everyone, really. I haven't really got much of a plan here. I think we're just going to throw our units to come through this gap and try and get to this road as quick as possible. So we will just put our Taurus here. Infantry, tanks, just want a scattering of stuff all coming through this gap, really. Yeah, I'm just going to try and punch through, not going to go in a long line. Right. End deployment. So we get to move first. Oh, that's a surprise. I thought the Orks might move first because of the situation we're in. So is this river passable? It's not.
That's good news.
That is good news. So we need to find a way to hold these guys off. I think we want to get some Ogrins up here to hold the line. We've got 2 Ogrin units. It might actually be best to put the Ogrins to this front. That looks much more under pressure. Can they reach the front line? Not on this turn.
How many new scenarios are actually in this expansion?
I think it's 10 or 11. I forget off the top of my head. The product page will say how many exactly, I think.
Right, but we're talking about a full new campaign here.
It is, yes. It's the same size as the other ones that were put out, the Space Marine campaign, so about 10, 11 missions. We're going to just plug this hole. Stop these guys advancing here at all. So we're coming out of our terrain, which isn't necessarily brilliant, but we just want to stop them flowing across. So we completely block the Orks here. They can't come across. Only 1 unit can get through at the moment. So we're no longer in cover with these guys, but I think it's better to just try and block them in. I want to get our Ogrins to the front line as quick as possible. And
12 scenarios according to Zekblad.
12. Zakblad knows everything. Right, we're just going to block these guys in again here. They have no ranged weapons. Do I have any supporting? What would be useful is some support heavy weapons. Some heavy weapons in here would be marvellous, but we don't have anything.
No, doesn't seem like it.
We have some rattling snipers, which will be useful, but our Hydra weapons platforms, they're not support either. They're air defense, so they get bonus against air attack, but I suspect there are not that many air units on the opposing side. So these are possibly completely useless. Our sniper's going to come up, have a shot. Our Ogryn's going to be the core of this defence though, so we need to get them into the front line as quick as we can. Where's the other Ogryn unit? He's going to go to the other side. So I think we might be, oops, didn't need to do that. Probably going to be rotating these units. I'm hoping they'll manage to last one round of combat. As long as they can last one round, we have enough time to swap them out and bring a new one in.
Well, they are in defensive terrain, aren't they?
They are. I think we'll...
They're very brave.
What have we got here? A Taurus. I think we'll bring the Taurus down. Okay. I'm just going to try to get volume of firepower onto these guys to, because they can't squeeze that many through. If we can keep the front unit kind of morale down and ineffective, then we can take them one at a time. Are the Orks going to be coming from any other direction? Ooh.
They might.
That, I've just noticed, is Ork controlled. I may have just made a huge mistake. I think we have to bring some troops back to face the other direction. Yeah, this could be a disaster. Right, the Taurus. Let's bring the Taurus over, see how bad it is. Oh, it's
that's pretty bad.
That's what happens when you don't pay attention at the start. Oh.
Right. Get some artillery as well.
Oh dear. I've just pulled everyone out of the defences. I'm going to get attacked from the back in my defences in the open. And yes, you should spend more time doing a bit of recon before you start playing the mission. That's my advice. How are we doing for time? Am I out of time?
Oh, I still got a couple of minutes left.
Okay. Well, luckily, I may run out of time before this all goes horribly wrong, but I'm pretty sure that we have set ourselves down a disastrous route by that initial attack, which would have been good if we weren't completely surrounded. So we need to punch our way through here to get to
yeah, you really need to
give some support, because those guys are screwed. Right, Taurus coming through. Oh,
there are quite a lot of units waiting for you.
There are a lot of units. They're all over the place. Oh, what we got here? We've got some new stuff. Flamers.
We do.
Feral Junkers. Oh, it looks like some kind of flamethrower. Slugger, burner, chopper. Oh, good. That's going to be messy. And right, let's move these guys out of the way. We'll bring our Ork Hunters with support. No. Oh, that's not support. I've just mixed my units up. That's my anti-tank infantry. Oh, right, the basilisk's already fired, so he's not much use. No one can actually do anything. The tanks are actually a good option against them, so I'm going to bring the tank round the side. Flamethrowers aren't brilliant against tanks. And here we've got we know that these guys don't like hand-to-hand, so...
Oh, nice.
That's better than expected.
That's a good trade.
And our anti-tank infantry are actually pretty meaty in hand-to-hand. So, made a bit of progress, but I was hoping there'd be less opposition. So, let's just see how bad it gets over here. Oh, I've got some units up here. What can we do?
Not a whole lot, I think.
They'll stay put. don't think there's an awful lot of point in. I think I'll save them for later. And we had a couple down here, that's just dead. They're going to get overwhelmed. But is there any point in leaving the defences? Possibly not.
I don't think you can easily move them anywhere where they would be of more use.
No. Just slow the enemy down. Okay, let's see what happens. Oh. Crikey.
Ooh.
A big enemy tank.
So far for saving
More
them
tanks,
for later.
More tanks.
Even your captured tanks.
Yes, it's just adding insult to injury.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is looking slightly harder than the first mission.
Oof.
One Taurus nearly destroyed. Those Tauruses just seem to be too lightly equipped to be able to deal with this Ork horde.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are tearing our infantry apart. I don't think our front line's going to hold even against the river. Another Taurus gone. Oh no, gone in one attack. Almost gone. That one just about survived. Oh, I forgot the archers. So their archers are tearing a hole in us as well. I see another Taurus gone. Yeah, these Tauruses are just a bit light. They really are one-shot weapons. So they've... Oh, no, it's more ball riders. Yeah, they're just totally overwhelmed. So our objective is to hold on to one of the victory locations inside the town.
Which is going to be probably the one to the far south, actually.
Could be. Because the one in the middle's gone. Oh, Orkwins are getting beaten up as well. Yeah, I think I was a bit aggressive in turn one.
Yeah.
And my entire western flank has been destroyed, and my eastern flank is about to get overrun. I'd be surprised if anyone's alive in about 2-3 turns. So yes, this was not the way to play this scenario, but at least when you play it, you'll know what to do. Yeah, there's plenty of blood for the blood god, that's for sure.
Yes. Right, so we're running out of time here, actually.
Yeah.
So.
I think that's pretty much as far as we're going to get today. So you only got to see me partially humiliated.
So yeah, you saw here today the first two scenarios of the Ork Hunter DLC. So it's a DLC that requires actually Warhammer 40k Armageddon installed. It doesn't require any of the other DLCs, does it?
No, they're all independent. So they're $5 each. Well, $4.99 each. So yeah.
Yeah, available from Steam and from our own website, from Slytherin.com. And if you buy it from Slytherin, you can actually redeem your Steam key, so you'll get a free Steam copy as well of the game.
Yep.
And a box copy you can get as well.
Yep, you can get box copies of all the games. Obviously, you get digital download, and you can upgrade to box copy. You still get your download, but you also get the box, and depending on the game, you'll get the manual. And that's, I think, everything for Ork Hunters today.
Yep.
The only thing I wanted to add is next week it is
Decisive Campaigns.
It is. That's a very interesting game. If you haven't seen that one, it's a lot more a typical hardcore war game, and it's something that should really appeal to the war gamers. It's got lots of very interesting features, lots of really interesting decisions. So you've got the actual war game part, but layered above that, you have a lot of
internal politics, I suppose.
It's very cool. You've got these. You'll get a message from. So you'll have a decision to make about, say, whether you want to change the railway tracks from this gauge to another gauge, which has kind of a lot of effects. But you'll also get letters from different parts of the German High Command telling you what they think you should do, and then when you make the decision, your relationship with these guys will change based on whether you agreed with them or went against them, and that has impacts on other parts of the game. So there's this really interesting political layer going on top, and the way the Germans work is completely different to the Soviets. So they have a different set of worries, but it's a really interesting game.
So we're going to go into detail on that next week.
Yeah.
And of course, there's a lot more information on the website. The same goes for Ork Hunters, of course. You can hit the banner below the stream. It will take you right to the product page for more information. And for any further questions, drop a line on the forums.
Thanks very much, guys.
Thank you very much, guys. See you next week.
Bye.